All right, what's going on, everybody? It's OhioGameTalks back with another video. I want to get to arguably the worst group in professional sports history, LeBron haters. There is a multitude of tiers that I could go on and just take you down, and I want to do that. Like I know there's a lot of people that say like, oh, LeBron fanboys, LeBron sexuals are the worst. I would say these guys are probably among the worst of the worst. I mean, these guys are arrogant. They make arguments in a way that they try to make it unrefutable or irrefutable, but they just make themselves look stupid. And it's a shame that, no one can really tell them that because they try to, post it on platforms where they'll get a lot of views. Because you guys know better than anybody. Hate gets a lot of views. So you don't really, the comments that you see in those are always hate comments. I mean, you don't really see the support for the player. You just see hate. And that's really unfortunate, but that's just how it goes. Hate gets a lot of views, and that's why there's a lot of people on YouTube that they get views on YouTube by hating on an athlete or demeaning an athlete or constantly just provoking like reactions from, the fan base of the athlete and whatnot. So I think it's my job to kind of do the balancing equation here, or at least one of my jobs as a, obviously a by Cavs fan. I feel like default I'm a LeBron fan. And obviously the Lakers are a team I also support because of this guy alone. And there's nothing that I personally just I don't really know what there is to dislike about the guy. I mean, sure, does he have, flaws in terms of like, controlling the narrative and whatever? Does he sometimes like to be a little bit passive aggressive or cryptic with his tweets and whatever? Like, yeah, I mean, that's definitely a flaw of his, and I mean, look, you don't have to like it. Like, if you give valid reasons why you don't like him, that's fair enough. Is he the most humble athlete in the world? No, I mean, I would not say that. He's not. I wouldn't say he's the most arrogant either. I mean, I'm sure he meets the equation, like he fits right in the middle there. But for an athlete as great as he is, the ego is kind of. I mean, it's kind of like you don't want to say it's like necessary, but it's like it's still part and parcel of being great. And he's obviously the most scrutinized athlete in professional sports. So anyway, before I just ramble on about this guy, I want to get into the tiers, and I want to just tell you the groups of people that I've come across, and they've been pretty annoying. But we'll just dive into it, and I'll tell you what I think of each of them. But anyway, we'll start off from the not the worst of the worst, but we'll go down and in terms of like the last one will be the absolute just dreading of LeBron haters, like the worst. But let's start off with the skeptic, I guess. So they prefer Jordan, somebody else. That's which is totally fair. I mean, you admit LeBron is a top two, top three player of all time. He doesn't troll. They keep it real. They may be like a rival fan of like the Celtics, the Raptors, the Pacers. Who else? The Nuggets maybe now that he's in the West. But the Celtics, Raptors, Pacers, Hawks, those type of teams. I mean, the Knicks, like those type of teams are pretty, you know, I guess they warrant a reason. They kind of have a reason to dislike LeBron. I mean, he's tortured their teams. I'm sure they have hella respect for him, but and then also like by default, I mean, that could be the one thing. Like you support a different team that's a rival of his or a past rival of his, but also you just prefer Jordan. And they may not be like a hater, but they might be like a troll, or like they might troll like a little bit. Like, hey, I don't like LeBron's like not as good. They may like say that, but they're not really insufferable, I guess, if you will. Like they have a good argument for having Jordan above LeBron. They always seem to kind of do like they don't really go by other people's opinion. They have their own opinion. They have their preference, which is totally fine. And that's what I kind of respect about sports fans. They have their own opinion. They don't speak in hyperbole. They don't try to demean an athlete to elevate another. Those are the kind of guys I like. And I would say that the skeptic is probably the worst, or the best type of, or the least worst of LeBron dislikers or haters. But yeah, I mean, the skeptic is, they warrant, or they kind of have good reasoning. And that's what I respect the most. But yeah, the skeptic. But we'll go down the list here. The rebel. So they try to be unbiased, but they repeat, Skip Bayless talking points. Like he doesn't have the clutch gene. He doesn't shoot free throws well, which is, I mean, he has flaws in the free throw line for sure. But they go along with these talk show hosts like Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, Shannon obviously is a big advocate of LeBron. So they deep down, I guess they respect LeBron. They just like to be different. Like if you have a group of LeBron fans, obviously you're gonna try to be the rebel and try to provoke a reaction. Those are the kind of haters. Are I guess they're not really haters of him, but they're more so they get annoyed with LeBron's fans. But they quote ESPN debate shows to make their argument. They try to just speak in hyperbole, like I said before. They don't really have any argument to hate LeBron other than just like, oh, they're fans. They point the finger at the fans. Those guys are just annoying, and I would call them the rebel. Try to be different for to grab people's attention, to pretty much just kind of provoke a reaction, and that's kind of what I find a little bit odd about these guys. But again, they aren't the exact worst. Worst. They respect him. They maybe rank him lower on the all-time list just to provoke a reaction, like, oh, he's not top 5. You're out of your mind, by the way, if you don't think LeBron is a top 5. And if you genuinely believe that, you are delusional, you're a hater, you're a troll, or you just don't know basketball, period. But yeah, the ones that pretend to be unbiased, I mean, those can be a little bit annoying. But anyway, we dive into the next one, which I absolutely hate, the Narrative Junkie. So 4-6 in the finals, conveniently forgetting who he, first of all, faced in the finals. I mean, he faced arguably the greatest team of all time. People were putting that team in conversations with the 96 Chicago Bulls. But we're just going to ignore 10 finals appearances. And granted, the East was not very strong at the time, but like 9 in 10 years of basketball is hard to do, regardless of what you think of the man, regardless of what you think his conference looked like, regardless of who you think the Cavs were playing in the final. First of all, the East, Miami, when he was with Miami, was not weak. That was a tough conference. But anyway, I mean, we think like losing in the finals apparently is somehow worse than missing the playoffs altogether. I mean, that's just ridiculous. It makes no sense. Like, he got more crap, I think, when did the Lakers miss the playoffs? 2019? He missed the playoffs in 2019, and that was because of an injury and stuff. I think he got more crap in 2017 and 18 for losing the finals than he did missing the playoffs, which is just ridiculous. Not only is losing in the finals, okay, 2011, if you want to rip on him, short. Like, these guys have probably watched that series alone, the 2011 finals against the Dallas Mavs, and they just ran with it. I mean, they live off the hating channels, the memes that are created, like LeChoke, as I said, LeChoke, LeSwept, or whatever. Like, I don't know. That's those kind of ones are the most annoying. They don't care about the greatness. They don't care about the path to the finals. Like, some idiots, like, conveniently just all of a sudden, like, then, sweeping, or Golden State sweeping Cleveland in 2018 made them all of a sudden, those guys particularly. I mean, I think most people still acknowledge how great he was throughout the entire run, especially as Cavs fans. That sweep made them conveniently forget about the run to the finals that the Cleveland Cavaliers had. And, you can say, oh, they went through just Indiana, Toronto, this. Did you not see the Cavs roster without LeBron? I mean, this guy had to put, if you take out LeBron from that Cavs team, they are the worst team in the NBA that year. So you can talk about the opponents that they had were not very strong playoff opponents. It was just LeBron. And Kevin Love, of course, his production kind of diminished a little bit in 2018. I mean, obviously, he's a great player in his prime, but his production just wasn't there in 2018. I just think these guys, they try to just say, oh, he lost this year, therefore he's not great. Like, oh, he lost the 15 finals to a team that had no finals experience. I mean, the context matters here. They ignore context. Like, oh, they didn't have Kyrie and Love. They ignored that. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and they're all much better than Mozgov. And no disrespect to these guys, because I love Delhi, Mozgov, all of them. They just they try to just ignore the context around it. That's what just really annoys me. But continuing on with the narrative junkies. KD going to the Warriors, save LeBron hater keyboards from the trash can. Seriously, LeBron was on pace to get 5 rings. The Cavs would have had 3 probably, or potentially, having a 6-4 finals record. If KD doesn't go to Golden State, who's to say that the Cavs don't win at least 1 or 2 more? Maybe 2 more. I'm going to say realistically they win 1 more, because 3-peating is hard to do. But 2017, 2018 was completely winnable without that move alone. KD guaranteed the Cleveland Cavs finals losses, and that's why we lost in 17 and 18. This was not supposed to be a one-time champion. This was supposed to be an arguable dynasty, but then Kyrie left, and who's to say that he leaves if the Cavs win in 17? I swear, if LeBron has a 6-4 finals record instead of 4-6, Like KD making that move to Golden State, which I absolutely hated at the time, it saved LeBron haters. Seriously, it saved him. Like LeBron, if he has 5 rings, potentially 6. If he doesn't go to LA, maybe he doesn't get that one. So I'm gonna say 5, maybe 6. KD guaranteed the finals losses for the Cavs, and that's what really, really made LeBron haters come alive. Like after 16, it felt like they were dead in the water. Like they couldn't really say anything. But KD going to the Warriors, and then that just like shifted the balance of power dramatically. Now Cleveland's no longer, the second. I believe Golden State was still the favorite, like without KD to win the finals. They were the overwhelming favorite, I think. But that one just completely shifted the balance of power. So you completely in 2017, yeah, sure. Like the Cavs, they people said they had a chance and whatever. Like I believe at the time, I even thought the fan in me thought that they had a good chance. I think a lot of people did. But when you saw the first 2 games, it just felt like raps. Like that's how good that Golden State team was without KD or with KD and without KD. But it was just too hard. And the narrative completely changes around LeBron. And then all these junkies can't say, oh, he's 4-6. Oh, he lost. He only won 1 title in Cleveland. He lost in the final 6 times. Like that whole thing just saved LeBron haters. And that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And then lastly, they ignore everything that goes against their argument, and they only make theirs like, oh, Draymond got suspended for Game 5 in the 2016 finals. For what? For exceeding the amount of technicals. Isn't that supposed to happen? Like that's supposed to. What I would be mad at if I was a Golden State fan, or if I'm any other fan that just did not want Draymond Green suspended. I wouldn't be mad at Draymond picking up that one tech that him and LeBron got into. I would be mad at the 25 other techs or whatever the heck he got before then. I mean, I think Channing Frye one time on a podcast said the Cavs tried to bait Draymond. Damn right they did, and they should have. They knew that the Cavs were trying to bait him, and he fell for it. So, and then another thing, here's what LeBron haters do. They conveniently ignore 2015 where 2 of our All-Stars, I think, Kyrie got hurt in the Game 1 of overtime. Kevin Love separated his shoulder because of, Kelly Olynyk. By the way, screw Kelly Olynyk. But yeah, that was just an unfortunate series. But if you look at those lineups, like LeBron, he put the team right on his back. I mean, Delly was spectacular on Steph Curry. It was just hard to overcome. I mean, this is a 67-win team, and that's what another thing that they forget. I forgot to mention. Here's a mini example. They'll say the Warriors had 0 finals experience coming in. Did you forget they were 67-15? I mean, how else do you get finals experiences? You play in the finals. That's how you get finals experience. And that was their first shot, and they delivered. But then also another thing that saved LeBron haters was in the bubble. They say it doesn't count because of COVID. They need a cope. They forgot they need a cope for LeBron because he has 4 rings, obviously, and obviously you're going to hold the losses against him where he went up against arguably the greatest team to ever play. But when he does win, it doesn't count. And are you just going to ignore that the Lakers weren't the 1 seed before the bubble? I mean, I truly think they would have won with or without the bubble. But now, according to you guys, it just doesn't count, right? That just because I think that shows how hurt you are that they did win in the bubble. So you have to try to diminish the man for winning just because you don't really have anything else. I mean, I would understand okay, it doesn't seem appropriate for an 8 seed to win the finals, but this is the 1st seed. So I just think these guys, they like to run away with the narratives that come from the media, that come from channels that hate on LeBron. Like these are the kind of guys that just don't don't care about the facts. They only care about being right. They like attention. They like arguments. I won't even say they like arguments. They don't even like being questioned. They like stating a fact and then they'll just run away with it. They don't care about any argument or being wrong or being told no. I mean, these guys are just ridiculous. But these are the narrative junkies that absolutely suck. And these 2 piss me off the most. The one I'm about to show you, that one definitely is the most. But this one, they definitely piss me off. But let's go to the worst of the worst. Let's show it. Bron's not top 5, not top 10. He's not top 20. Some of the worst people on the internet. The internet brings out the dumbest people. And if you show me dumb, I'll show you a LeBron hater online. Obsessed with rings, they ignore who Bron played against. Like I said, similar to the narrative junkie, he only won 4 rings. First off, 4 rings is 4 rings. It's not 2 rings. It's I think people are so brainwashed because, 4 rings in 23 years. First of all, like, context matters, of course. Like, he's up there in age and he's still playing at a high level. Like, he flops. He had so much help. He got swept twice in the finals. Again, yeah, another thing. He ignores 2007 and 2018 when he had basically no help from the Cavs. I mean, the Cavs were good defensively in 2007. They locked you down, but like he had no he didn't have a team with him. And yeah, cumulatively, because he's played for so long, 23 years, he's had more help. He's had more all-star teammates. He's had more, guys with him that's been able to play. But that happens when you've played for 25 years. But again, if I bring this up to the haters, they won't care. They'll find every wiggle room out of there. Kobe didn't have this. Michael didn't have that. Magic didn't have this. Magic didn't have that. See, if you notice when I make an argument for LeBron, for Jordan, for anybody, I don't try to demean the other guy. Because I recognize, first of all, they're both great. If I say LeBron's better than Kobe, which is true, I won't demean Kobe. I won't say Kobe's a brick artist or whatever. I won't say that. I'll just say LeBron is just, it's not even, for me, it's not even a discussion. I think every basketball fan and every guy who knows basketball, as much as they love Kobe's killer instinct, as much as they love his copy of Jordan's game, LeBron versus Kobe is just not an argument. And I speak from that not even as a LeBron guy, a guy that knows basketball. It's not a valid argument. I mean, this guy has had more finals MVPs, more MVPs, a longer career. He made his teammates better a little bit more, I would say. He was the best player on all 4 championship teams. Kobe was on 2 of them. Like, it's just, these kind of things are just things that you can't just ignore just because of the killer instinct. Oh, 5 beats, 4 rings. Like, those guys are the worst of the worst and the narrative junkies. The people who use 2007 and 2018 against them are just casuals who just care about, did he win the ring? That's it. They don't care about individual greatness. They just care, oh, did he win? Because they'll find every loophole to try to demean the guy, even though everything he's done has symbolized excellence, and he's done his job, even in the finals that he's lost. I mean, let's look at some of the games. I mean, 2018 game 1, that game still hurts. 51-8-8. 2014, I believe he shot 58% from the field that series. They lost in 5. But you know who gets the blame? LeBron James. The only one where you could just straight up say he was awful, the Dallas one. Spurs won, sure, but he was 22 years old? 22, 23? And he wasn't awful. But these guys, that's what they do. They don't want pushback. They just say what they say. They get the likes, the views that they make. They don't look at the replies of the haters or the fans of LeBron that try to, speak up against them. They just like to say what they say and run with it. And that's okay, because quite frankly, that doesn't bother me. You do what you want. I'm just here to call it out and let you guys know what I think. And, again, if that means LeBron, he can never be on their Mount Rushmore, not their top 5, that's fine. You don't make the official rankings. No one makes the official rankings. It's a subjective list at the end of the day. I just tell you what I think and why I think these people are absolute worst. And if you have a problem with LeBron fans, it could be because of these LeBron haters. Like, LeBron fans will only respond if LeBron haters are being stupid. And like I said, LeBron is not flawless. I agree with, some of these guys when they say he tries to control the narrative. Or he sometimes is passive aggressive. That's just part of human nature. The East is weak. The bubble doesn't count, though. Basically, these guys, what they do, LeBron cannot win under their terms, therefore he sucks. They try to play victim, they blame LeBron because the haters are delusional. They're not worthy of talking basketball with me. I mean, if you want to have a valid conversation, I've seen these skits where one LeBron fan versus 10 haters, I'd be down to have a conversation. But if you're just one of those guys that goes by narratives, that just goes by demeaning LeBron, so you're just going to cherry pick his things, I just don't want to talk to you. I mean, let's not forget the guy averaged a triple-double and they lost in 5 games in the NBA Finals in 2017. But are we just going to ignore that? No, we're just going to say he's stat pads. That's just an example. One's of many examples. Oh, he padded his stats to, catch up with Michael Jordan. He padded his stats to make himself look good in the finals. That's not true, first of all, but they don't care about that. They just want to say what they say and make a narrative out of it because that's all they have, and that's honestly why they're really insecure. So anyway, that's it. Wanted to call out LeBron haters. You guys have a great day. Let's go, Cavs. And LeBron, he's a human being. Everybody has. And that's it. But anyway, LeBron haters, screw yourselves. And I'll see you guys next time.